right, we got something from Asmongold TV called "Every Live Service Game is the Same." All right, let's see what you boy got to say about the live service industry.
Hi guys, it's me again. Today we're going to be talking about online video games, MMOs, and why I've been moving away from them.
Hmm.
I'm turning into a boomer playing single player video games and feeling better than ever. How could this have possibly happened to me? And I want to talk about exactly, systematically, keep that word in mind, systematically how that's happened. Now, I want to warn you guys, before you watch this video, if you
Mm-hmm.
like playing a lot of online video games, you love live service games, and you think anything the way that I do, be careful. Because after you see these patterns,
Yeah, live service games are booming right now. They're not going anywhere. They're super successful. And even on Steam, I'm pretty sure Steam top 10 games. Uh, we can look and I could just guess. Look, Counter Strike, live service, Dota, live service, PUBG, live service. Oh my God, PoE2 booming at live service number 4. Marvel Rival live service. What the fuck is Source? Whatever. Um, GTA. Wow. Live service. Rust. Live service. Fucking banana. Why is this still hanging in here? I actually know. It's the same NFT bros that think these stupid little Steam stickers, if they click it enough, they're gonna make money. Stop it. That's not happening. Naraka Blade Point. Ooh, good for Naraka. Live service. Delta Farce. Uh, how is this still booming? Live service. Wallpaper Engine. Apex. Evil. Live service. Live service. War Thunder. Live service. Stardew Valley. Live service. Understandably, there's not really, and this is kind of deceiving. Going off of the top games that are being played right now, because what this chart does not account for are the spikes of players that play single player games, that play them in their entirety. Maybe they play them like twice, or New Game Plus 2, plus 3, however long. Um, there is a finite amount of time that you can play like a single player game, and then for the most part, I'd say 99% of the people play a single player game in its entirety, whatever your definition of entirety is, either one playthrough, multiple playthroughs, or whatever. There's a clear, defined start and stop point, and you start it, you stop it, you play it, and you're just done. And those stats are not listed in this little chart. Steam charts, was this like most games being played like right at this particular moment. Um, I don't know. Is there probably like an all time peak? Yeah, you could sort by all time peak. And even this, I mean, shit, isn't Power World like live service? But like, let me see. Black Myth Wukong, single player game, all time peak, crazy. Cyberpunk, all time peak. Why is Banana still here? God damn it, Banana. Um, Hogwarts, good game, all time peak. But again, you load up this chart, and this is just going off of Steam, and the default set is set to current. Um, I don't know. There just needs to be another chart that people go by, that like a chart that can vouch for single player games. That I don't know. Live service is just all about statistics, and I'm just going off. Okay, let me keep going.
I feel like there is no way to unsee the man behind the machine. So, anyway, the big issue that I've had a lot with online video games is that it feels like it's building a castle on sand, it's building a castle on the beach, and then every 60 to 90 days, the tide comes in, washes your castle away, and the
Yes.
only thing you have left to show for it is maybe a cosmetic FOMO item for some seasonal event.
Yep. Your accolade of accomplishment, it has been dwindled down to a singular item, hopefully your game can, you know, display that in such a way that is meaningful to you. But I would say most live service games don't. Much the same way about a contest or something that you can work for in real life can be displayed. So let's take um, something like a football game. Okay, you take the sport of football. What's the peak accomplishment you can get in football? Oh, well, you win the Super Bowl and you get like a trophy and then you get the ring. All of your hard work and dedication for years and years of like high school, middle school, high school, college, and up until like your pro season and all that shit can be consolidated into a singular item, a football ring. Bang. That item encompasses a lifetime of work, and this is true of real life. And I don't know why video games don't like do this or see this. Um, I mean, I don't know. Maybe some of them do, but like the end of season rewards for live service games, uh, generally pretty much suck. And about the only thing you stand to gain if you're like a middle of the road type of player, maybe you're casual, maybe you like kind of lean into like a casual try hard type of like on the bell curve. The only thing you can really gain, like, yeah, you have like your character, and it's like, oh yeah, like, you know, last season my character got this, and the build's still there, and blah blah blah. But the thing that transfers from season to season is simply your knowledge and understanding of the game. And I don't know if that's good enough for most players uh, to obtain and keep as a value proposition and incentive to keep playing the game. You know, some players, the more they understand the game, the more they like about the game. That's understandable. But there comes a point where once the all the mechanics of a game are just revealed, they're fleshed out, you understand how everything works. Um, that's usually when a meta is defined and the game is considered solved, and then all of the mystery, all of the magic, all of about the game is just simply lost. And at that point, will cause some players to, come to the conclusion, and they're just like done with the game. I think.
Oh boy, you don't want to miss those. There's a collection tab. You loot an apple, and it says 1 out of 634. Oh boy, are we having fun now. Oh, exciting. And so I've been
Yeah.
seeing this with every single.
Or like all the Lilith statues in D4, or all the feathers in the early Assassin's Creed games. Or I think GTA had something like this where you collected like little papers or something. And this is all to push, the incentive to explore the entire map, which I don't think is the worst thing, because if you're going to play a game with like a gigantic ass map or something, I mean, and this isn't exclusive for live service, tons of single player games do this to try to incentivize you to explore the map. Well, part part of the fun comes from naturally wanting to explore the map, but sometimes there's a chunk of players that don't get it yet, to where exploration is half of the fun, so they need to be incentivized to explore. So it's like, okay, we'll just put this little thing over there. Just collect all these 40 little apples or 50 apples around the maps, and it's like, okay, before there was no real reason, I had no inclination to explore the map. Now there's like this little thing. Now I am incentivized to go explore the map. But understandably, sometimes with live service games, whenever you get done with the season, they want you to explore the map in the same way over and over again to collect the same apples over and over again.
single online game. And I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with me? How am I letting myself get my time wasted on such a cataclysmic scale? By the way, 35,000 hours I've played World of Warcraft, okay?
Yeah.
I don't regret a single minute of it, but
I'm sure you
goddamn, I
don't.
wouldn't want to do all that again. And so here's the point. I feel like every single online game, it doesn't matter whether you're playing Honkai Star Rail, Genshin Impact,
Hmm.
Wuthering Waves, Call of Duty.
Okay, never actually played most of those games besides Call of Duty. Um,
World of Warcraft, or New World, none of these things matter because all of these games follow the same DNA. And the DNA, if you want a very easy way to condense this down, it is keep you addicted and waste your time. That's basically what happens. And
mhm.
so people say, oh, well, you want.
I would agree with both of those points, keeping you addicted and the wasting of the time. That's kind of subjective. Um, there's no doubt that the addiction part, like for like a new player, they have no addiction and they're playing XYZ random live service game. They're not addicted to the game yet. So that addiction has to be built. So you have the systems in place to that you have to invest your time. Why? Because the more you invest your time in a live service game, uh, just it becomes like a sunken cost fallacy. The more you invest your time, the more you feel attached to it. You're emotionally invested in it. You are the time invested into it. You are knowledge and mechanics invested into the game. You become more knowledgeable of the game, and the thought of you leaving that specific live service game is becomes so scary that because this is the environment that you're in, like especially if you only play live service games, it since it takes you a long amount of time to understand a live service game, the thought of going out and playing something else is so scary because you have to invest the same amount of time into like another live service. Like let's say it takes you 100 hours or something to like understand a live service game. And in that 100 hours you're like on the struggle bus of trying to learn and understand things. By the time you get through that 100 hours, in some games it could be 1,000 hours and you're still learning and shit. Um the learning, it's a learning phase. There's like that 100 hours of learning phase, and then it becomes I would say, and this is like a random phrase, you would go into stride mode to where it's like you can see the mechanics, apply them correctly, and now you can start to enjoy the game, or maybe it becomes like the end game chunk of the live service game, and now you're just on stride mode. You're just taking it day by day. You know what to do. Nothing is really like jumping out, scaring at you. And now you can like start to play the game in a way that you want to play the game. So if that takes 100 hours or if that takes 1,000 hours or whatever, that's like a variable. And then, the mere thought of you going out and trying to do that again, it's like, well, shit, I want to get to that stride mode part of the game. I want to get to that end game part of the game, but I don't want to invest like another 100 hours, and I don't want to invest another 1,000 hours to, get to that chunk of the end game of the next live service game. It's like that learning period becomes a speed bump instead of, I don't know, when like back in the day, it's like, ooh, I get to play a new game. It becomes like a chore, essentially.
On instant gratification. You're goddamn fucking right, I do. I'm
Yeah.
playing a video game. If I
Yeah, this is a huge thing. And I would probably say some of the best live service games that are doing it that will like I could probably say no, not Snip. Some of the best live service games right now that people love are probably well, in the moment, PoE 2 and, PoE 1, as far as like ARPGs go, Jesus, ARPGs. Um, what else? What was it? Was Last Epoch like kind of good? I mean, I don't know. I mean, there's D4, but that's like comparing D4 to PoE. It's like kind of comparing Planet Fitness to like Oxygen Gym in Dubai, or Pure Muscle and Fitness, where it's just like one is a starter gym and another one is like a top tier level like gym where all the best people go in the world. Okay, it's like it's the best of the casual and the best of the hardcore. Okay, the numbers just are there. Okay, well, I don't even. It's here. Let me do this. D4. Where is this? Where's the damn asterisk? I'll give D4 an asterisk. Okay, whatever. Um. Okay, in terms of FPS, let's go FPS. FPS live service. Let's go Counter Strike, Val, uh, Fortnite. Those are probably the top ones. Maybe you could shoehorn in Apex. Maybe. Um, let's see what else. Third person shooter, or let's just put shooter, because I think this one really matters too. I will vouch for Warframe. I have played Warframe. Warframe is generally very well accepted as a very good live service game. And I've played the systems. I know the systems. I know the game loops and whatnot. So the core game loop of all of these games is solid. Core game loop of ARPGs for PoE, D4. The core game loops are solid. They feel good. Same thing for all these games. Core game loop, good. Warframe, core game loop, fantastic. There's not a lot of systems in these type of games. This is more invest your skill. You get better at the game. The better you get at the game, the more fun you're gonna have. Yes, these have like a degree of skill tied to them, but this category is more competitively driven. I would say the thing that makes these games good are the systems that people enjoy. And I would say the thing that wastes your time in these games are the systems. The systems are designed to waste your time in these categories. 100%. Not so much this category. The systems don't really matter because you are simply given a character, with guns and abilities, and that's it. There is no level 1, level 2, level 3, level 4 version. I mean, yeah, you could get into the nitty-gritty with what do you call it? And then I could throw COD in there, like just for shits and giggles. But the systems in these games are not as complicated to understand as these type of systems. And I forgot where I was going with all this bullshit, but let me just center.
If I didn't want instant gratification, I'd go back to my own boring real life. Of course I do. I don't want to spend 40 hours farming for some helmet. That's stupid. And I understand the irony of this.
Mm-hmm.
Because as one of the residential spending 40 hours farming for a helmet YouTubers, over the years especially, I've done this a lot. Okay, I've even made guides on how to do it in only 38 hours and save a little bit of time. But nowadays, I look
Farm
at
the
that
helmet.
and
Farm the 40-hour farm helmet in 38 hours. Wow, what a great video.
I just don't have the same outlook on life that I used to, and I cannot even fathom wasting my time in such a exorbitant way.
Me neither. And this is something that has changed over the as time goes on with the gaming industry. You go back 10, 15 years, maybe 20 years. You go back to 2004, and you play all the golden era of video games when the IPs are first establishing themselves. Splinter Cell, Bioshock, Halo, Call of Duty, a laundry list of other games. Dragon Age, the first one, Oblivion, Skyrim, like Jack and Daxter, Ratchet and Clank. A lot of these games didn't have systems in them designed to waste your time, or if there were, it would be like maybe one level of time wasting of like, this is the base gun, upgrade it to level 2, it does more damage, it shoots faster, it reloads faster, it does everything better, it's just a better gun, blah blah blah. Now you have modern day live service games, such as PoE or Warframe, that the time wasting systems that are implemented are so complicated and complex that I would argue that it's almost like, if you're a casual player and you've never played either of those games before, I would say don't play it. Because modern day live service games are designed for hardcore players. They're not designed for casual players at all. If you want to have the most value for your time, for the least amount of time investment, I would say go play a single player game. You are going to get way more satisfaction out of a single player game than a live service game. Live service games are for hardcore people that have not a real job, but a entertainment type of job, where their job is to play the game over and over again.
And I think that this is a big thing for me. Like, I'm getting old. I'm
Bro, that's nothing. I'm 35, okay? Shut up.
34 years old. And back in the day, and you guys can tell me if this is true or not in the comments with you, is that back in the day when I would play online video games, the reason why I would play them is so I could show everybody else in the world that I was better than they were. And
I wish I could relate, because like, yeah, I played a little bit of WoW in the beginning, but I was a little kid and I didn't know dick about ass, and I didn't give a shit about being good. I just wanted to understand how to play the game. I mean, shit. I was there when I was in my boy Julian's room, and Battlegrounds were coming out for the first time, and he was on his Warlock, and I was like, "Oh, how do you do this? How do you do that?" And they're like, "Oh, they're coming, Cornel, they're coming out with Battlegrounds, and it's something like captures a flag, and you verse the guys on the other faction." It's like, oh, what is this new thing? Oh, this is so cool. And it's like, nobody had any concept of being good at the game, or any desire to be good at the game. So that's just, it falls on deaf ears in that aspect. I mean, uh, maybe this wanting to be good at games came from whenever I was playing like Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 1 on the PlayStation. Whenever me and my boys would come inside from playing football and we were like all fucking tired, it's like, oh, let's just turn on Tony Hawk's Pro Skater and see who can like bust out the biggest tricks and shit. I would probably say that is a little bit more relatable for me. Or trying to be good at Halo on the Halo 1 LAN parties that me and my buddies would go to.
I got so caught up in this. I love being able to do this. This is my favorite thing to do. And it was a big sense of, pride for me in a way. And I actually don't, I don't see this as a bad thing really at all. I don't hate myself for this. I don't think I'm stupid for doing this. But it's just that at this point in my life, I'm no longer feeling that way about, about video games. I don't.
Um, this is contextualized around. around the modern day live service, industry. Like, if you're good at a live service game, like, you need to be like a big YouTuber. You need to be able to display your little clip that you snip off of the computer. You could post it to Twitter and like just absorb all the hearts, up thumbs, and blah blah blah. It's like, oh, I'm number one on the ladder, or I'm top 1% to 1% on the ladder, and that's how I get my dopamine hit. Whereas back in the day, being good at a game simply meant that, you took your Xbox, you took your Halo game, you took your controllers, you went to your buddies, or Super Smash, you took your GameCube, you took your controllers, went to your buddy's house, and you derive dopamine from literally being in the same room as a bunch of other people, and everyone like rallying around you and cheering. It's like, oh shit, bro! I guarantee you get more fulfillment and enjoyment and dopamine being in a room with a bunch of friends cheering on, like, you or whoever, or playing Halo, and everybody like 10, 20 people, whatever, people cheering for you, that like, oh, you won, you're the best in the house, than you would, getting like 10K likes on a tweet because you snipped that you're like number one on the leaderboard. It just hits different. Okay, being the best person in your household or your neighborhood at a game is way more fun, fulfilling, and you get way more dopamine off that than like, oh, I'm rank one in Joe Schmo shooting game, whatever. I mean, the reason why this is because this also is true for LAN events for video games. You get like 40, 50 players for like some battle royale game. You put them on stage, and you have like a crowd of people, and it's like the final day. It's like the final rings close, and it's your team versus another team, and it's like, boom, we win the trophy. That little squad of like 3 or 4 people, they get like put up in front of the stage. You have this crowd of people like washing over you. So it's kind of similar in that respect, where you have like a live feedback of like an arena of like what, maybe 5K people, 10K people in an arena, like cheering you on. Um, Versus like, oh, I'm just sitting here alone in my room. I did really good at the game. Bravo me. I snip my little achievement, post it on Twitter, and get a bunch of likes. The dopamine effect and enjoyment is just different.
I don't need to play a video game to show off that I'm better than somebody because, again, I just, I've gotten old. I don't really care that much about this anymore. And so I just play video games, I don't know, imagine this, for fun. And so, anyway, how do I get to this point?
Look at this nerd playing video games for fun. What a loser. Oh my god.
I get to this point and I look at video games, and it seems like so many of them are infected with the exact type of rot, the exact same type of rot, and that is every 60 to 90, some of them they're a little bit different, but they're all basically the same paradigm. Every few months or so, there is a battle pass, a season pass that probably has a paid version that is higher than that sometimes provides like actual good rewards, like things that are played for power, like Star Rail or something like that, or it just has cosmetics like something like Kirax Vault Pass in Path of Exile as a general rule, right? Or the trading post in World of Warcraft that functions as a battle pass. And so anyway, these things happen, and it makes me feel like every single one of these games is operating on this usually 60 to 90 day patch cycle
Yeah.
that repeats the same content over and over. There's an event for different types of like different types of social events, like Chinese New Year. That's a really big one. You've got Halloween and all of these different events, and I feel like oh wow, you hate Halloween events. No, I don't hate Halloween events, but every year when they have them, like, this is just really to sell skins, right?
Yeah.
And when every single game is doing this, there's a certain sense of escapism that I'm looking for in a video game that really kind of evaporates.
Yep. He is 100% right. When a realist, well, if you're playing a live service game And the live service game is, I mean, where the fuck was that damn list? If you're playing a live service game like World of Warcraft and all of a sudden Christmas is the thing, there's a big tree and all the orcs and all the undead skeletons and all the cow people are celebrating Christmas. It takes you out of it. It's like, oh, Christianity. Okay, all of a sudden all these orcs and fantastical beings and whatnot just believe in Christianity of Saint Nick and all this other bullshit, or Thanksgiving or Halloween. It simply takes you out of it. It just does. It breaks the immersion. Oh my god, my immersion is broken. Ugh. But I don't know.
When you see every single one using the exact same content delivery method, right?
Yeah.
And so I see these games with these battle passes every single time, and it makes me feel like I'm wasting my time doing them, because every time I fill up one of these battle passes, every time I complete a season journey, every time I complete all of the tasks that have been allotted to me, well, then I wait for a few months and then I have to do the whole thing over again. That's my big reward. And all
Yep, that's your big reward. Finishing the battle pass. The battle passes in live service games are designed to keep around truly casual people. People that, in the bell curve, they fall in the middle. The people at the left side, at the absolute left side, truly new people, don't care about battle pass. People on the absolute right side of the battle pass, the really elite level, top 1/10 of 1% people, they don't care about the battle pass. They play every day. They don't give a shit about it. They're gonna complete it. It's a non-factor for them. It's designed. The battle pass is designed for this gigantic chunk in the middle to give them a sense of progression and to keep them around. It's like, oh, I gotta do my daily challenges. I gotta do my weekly challenges. I gotta do my monthly challenges. Oh my god, I gotta. And all of a sudden, you find yourself just doing chores on the daily. It's boring. It's monotonous. It's unfulfilling. Whereas back in the day, you simply played a game just because you wanted to try it. You wanted to try something new. Is this game good? Is this game bad? Does it got good systems? Does it got good core gameplay? Does it tell a good story? I mean, who the hell is playing a live service game for the story? Like, come on.
of them are built around some form of FOMO item. And I feel like FOMO is a very double-edged sword, and I think this is especially true with
there is no such thing as a digital product that you cannot replicate. If there is a Christmas skin that comes out only during Christmas, it's not gone when Christmas is around or not around. They can simply hit the switch to turn that item on again in the shop and make it available again. Like, yes, they could take it out of the store, so you can't buy the Santa skin, the Christmas skin for your favorite character, but you just wait a year and it's back again. Okay, well, if that's the case, why would you remove it? Well, because it's not Christmas anymore. But if I want it and I want to give you money for it, well, you gotta stay and play. But I don't want to stay and play. But you gotta. But I don't wanna. But you should. Okay.
live service games. And what I mean by that,
and the another thing to add on to the FOMO on top of that, with Christmas, Thanksgiving, Halloween, Valentine's Day, St. Patrick's Day, whatever amount other of holidays that you can shoehorn in, is the rotating weekly store that you have for your live service game. Oh, the store rotated. Maybe it rotates every week. Maybe it rotates every 2 weeks. In the case of Warframe with Baro Katir, and then you have your monthly rotating store with what do you call it? With Warframe Resurgence, Prime Resurgence things that you can just buy the Prime version of a Warframe, and that rotates every month or two or something like that. I never played PoE 1, so I don't know like the systems in that one. I know about the like the supporter pack and the stash tabs and all that shit, but I looked at PoE 1, like I am playing PoE 2, and it's like kind of enjoyable to learn the game. But if I were to play an ARPG back then, there would not be all of these like systems in place to do like to break down every single solitary type of move. It's crazy.
Is with a lot of live service games, how many of you guys played a live service game and you logged on every single day? You
Yeah.
want to make sure every day you never.
Yeah, I did that for Apex. I did that for Apex Legends. I was stuck. I was in the spiral. I was in the mix. I was trying to grind out my solo uh, just play ranked and go solo to there's no shot I would have been able to get to Predator, but to try to get to Master, I would try my damnedest. Um I never got to Master. The best I was always able to get to Diamond, and it's what's funny about that is, and I tried to do this on M&K, which was like even more hilarious. Um, there have been multiple times throughout my years of just being a tourist on the internet, and in my little era of Apex, multiple devs have came out and tried to not directly say the statistics about trying to be a solo player and to try to solo queue to like even master. They are so statistically fucking low. It's less than one. I think it's like less than half of 1% chance to get to be a solo to master player. And I would argue probably even more less if you're playing on M&K. So little did I know, I was actually just Sisyphus pushing up the rock on the hill. I couldn't see behind the rock or what was up the hill. I just thought my damnedest. Oh, if I only aim train harder, if I just play the game harder, get better aim, get better peripheral, get better mouse, get better fucking mouse pad, look at YouTube videos, look up content, become really invested in the game. Maybe something will click. Maybe one day I'll get to master. And all these little variables, and it's not just for Apex. I'm just telling you like what happened to me. Um, all of this shit can happen in every other live service game, with all these other variables. Um, yeah, the statistical chance of me actually hitting a solo master on M&K was like less than 0.5%. I was not that guy. As much as I wanted it to be, I was not that guy. I just wasn't good enough.
Miss that daily, right? Because you don't want to fall behind. And so you do that, and one day you miss it. It's like, ah, man, I missed it. Okay, well, I'm going to log on the next day. I'm still doing it every other day, so it's fine. And so then later on, maybe you end up accidentally missing 3 days. And then you tell yourself, well, maybe, and this could be any period of time, not 3 days, it could be 3 weeks, 2 weeks, right? Every game is different. But you tell yourself, oh, well, now I'm so far behind, it's not really worth playing anymore because I can't catch up. And I think that's what ends up happening with a lot of people.
Yeah.
Is that FOMO is a great way to keep people in the game, but FOMO is also a great way to keep people out of the game.
100%. Why do you think the Steam charts look like perfect speed bumps every damn time a season starts and stops? Let me just do, let me see. Steam charts. Let's just look at PoE. Let's look at, I don't know, a year or 6 months, 3 months. When does the damn fucking season start and stop at PoE? I don't know. Let me change this. Maybe PoE's a bad example. I know a good example. Oh my god, look at this. Wow. Let me see. Let's look at a 6 month. What the fuck is happening? 1 year. Okay. Okay, this. I'm not looking at this line. I'm looking at down here. Wait. Okay, maybe. maybe this was just a horrible example. The main point is anytime a live service game starts a new season, the beginning of every new season of a live service game, that's going to be the biggest spike in player base, the biggest uh, uh, audience capture. And then as the season goes on, the players dwindle off. New season comes out, big spike, dwindles off, big spike, dwindles off. That's the pattern. This isn't news. I hope this isn't news to anybody. This is just a thing that happens.
And so, more and more, as I'm spending my time doing other things that I find to be more enjoyable, the appeal of trying to continuously play an online video game to catch up and to keep up with all the FOMO rewards, it becomes more onerous, more of a pain in the ass, and just more of, I mean, let's just be honest, guys, it's more of a waste of time. And so,
Yeah. If you're trying to jump into a live service game on the tail end of a season, and you're like a new player, and maybe you're either doing it by yourself or your buddy tells you to, like, you're getting advice from your buddy. As soon as you discover you're trying to put time and effort into finishing this battle pass, and there's only like a week left, it's like, oh well, shit, this is pointless. Why the fuck am I playing at the end of a season? This is the trend, and maybe an issue that live service games have. Maybe it's not an issue. Maybe it's not a problem they need to solve, because most live service games are pretty content with the considerable spike they get at the beginning, the amount of money people spend on the game in the beginning, that when players just tail off and just simply don't play anymore, live service games hit their goals within like the first like week or month or 2 weeks or something like that. The rest of the season doesn't even matter. They got all their money for the season in the first like 2 weeks, first month. It's like they're just chilling, they're just cruising, and that would be my guess.
this is something that, and what's very weird for me talking about this, and I'm sure a lot of people will be kind of shocked to hear this, because I used to be the person who was the most fixated on this. I would never miss anything in WoW. I would never do anything. I would always make sure I get everything done, and be a complete completionist, right? And I feel like being a completionist completely wastes my time,
Yeah.
so I stopped doing it. And it sounds like such a, an obvious thing to do, but I feel like there's a lot of people out there that are stuck in that hamster wheel, and they feel like if they get off of the hamster wheel, then they've wasted all their time on the hamster
Yep.
wheel, so they can't get off because of sunk cost fallacy.
Yep.
And it's like, I remember when Blizzard made the $90, I can't even believe this, $90 store mount. They
Oh, was this like the super long boy, the buyable long boy that you have like auction houses and like the I don't know, you have like everything on that damn mount.
put this out there, and I'm seeing people in the comments, oh my god, I'm gonna have to buy this because I want to get all the mounts, but it's so expensive. It's like, what do you mean you have to buy this? What's wrong with you? What are you talking about, you have to buy this? And the thing is that, I mean, I could also be talking to myself from 10 years ago.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the really ironic thing about it. And so the reason I'm making this video is to express kind of my current state of mind. I still like online video games. I can still play them for fun, but I can never really fully invest into them because I feel like so many systems and mechanics inside of them are designed to waste your time. And
They
I've
are.
noticed
The good, I mean, there's, you play every different live service game for like a different thing. You play like the FPS ones for like competitive nature and constant like rush of like versing someone and just killing them and being better than someone. I think the type of live service he's talking about would probably fall under the PoE, the World of Warcraft MMO, the Warframe type of live service, where the really good live services take the core game mechanics and they break them down to such an autistically separate level that I never thought was even possible. Like, if you told me that like a BioShock or Ratchet and Clank, Jack and Daxter, or Splinter Cell, or even Assassin's Creed could be broken, like the systems that, like, you're just playing and you're like attacking and or shooting. If you were to tell me that those systems could be complexed and broken down to such a granular level, I would not have believed you. There's no shot. You look at, I'm discovering in PoE 2, that every aspect on how to deal damage, apply damage, how to multiply or add damage, projectile speed, cast speed, activation, movement speed, uh, or in the case of Warframe, um, I could literally just copy paste all of that shit I just said. All of that shit can be granulated and just like put into so many separate little beakers. It's like this is like one thing that people, or MMOs, God forbid if an MMO were to like break its systems down to such a granular level like PoE or Warframe. Holy shit. I would not have believed you. Like there would have been nothing. It would have been like, why is this a thing? You look at an endgame character in either Warframe or PoE or D4, and the endgame character is just, it looks like they're glitching. It looks like a glitch. It looks like someone is cheating in the game. So like, if like, let's say this line represents core gameplay and just like on a visual level, and this is the middle. Okay, it's like you got your character, you're doing like one attack a second. The animations are pretty fluid. You can tell what's going on the screen, and this is like a quote unquote single player experience, something like a Souls like, or Monster Hunter, or Elden Ring, or God forbid, back in the day, Splinter Cell, Gears of War, or something. Everything is fine. It's manageable. Most people can keep up with what's going on the screen. Like 99% of people know what's going on. What live service games have done is they take this core gameplay feeling, and this is just like a feeling, and at the beginning of your live service career, you play here, and everything is slow. You do 1 damage. Maybe you can make it go up to 17 damage. Uh, you're only getting like 1 projectile. Your projectiles are moving slow. God, this feels bad. And then as you play the game, your character is literally, it looks like it's cheating. You're doing like 12 attacks a second. You move or dash around or jump, and it looks like you're just hopping around the screen. You can spam your little invincibility move. You can spam your potion, whatever. And this is like peak endgame right here. And I guess there's some people that like this, and like if you put enough time and energy into like a game like this, I would say, yeah, you deserve to be able to look like you're visually cheating, like with how good your character is. You do all the damage, you do all the multiplicative damage, you do all the movement, you do all the projectiles. You can eliminate a screen with a blink of an eye. You can eliminate a boss at the blink of an eye. Yeah, because it takes that such a large amount of time to understand the entirety of the game to get to that point. Whereas here, this is like Normieville. This is where, honestly, this is like where I like to play. But live service games want you here. They want you to stay invested into the game. They want you to understand the game. They should want you to break the game to get here and to keep you around long enough to get here. Games back in the day, they did not do this.
this and I contrast it with something like Elden Ring, or I contrast it with something like that I've been playing a lot recently. What is it? Metaphor Refantasio. Amazing, incredible game. I loved it. I ended up taking a day off today. I've been playing it all day. It's been really fun. And so I see these other single player games that they don't make you sit through 4 or 5 hours of meaningless annoying activities in order to get the reward. They just give you the reward, and the reason why is because they've already got their reward. They've already got your money.
Hmm.
So it doesn't matter to them anymore, like whether you're spending more time on the game. They just want the time that you spend on the game to be as meaningful and fun as possible. And I compare that with online video games, and it's like, okay, well, every time that you go on a loading screen, there's an advertisement for a skin. Every time that you open up the menu, there's another advertisement for the store.
Yeah.
Every time that you
I want the Nicki Minaj skin. I want the Snoop Dogg skin. I want the Cheech and Chong skin. I want the gun that looks like a bong that I can smoke because that's me. That's the relatability of me in the video game. I got a bong right there, but my gun's also a bong that I can take a rip. I take a rip off the gun. I take a rip off the bong. Yeah, I get that skin, dude.
you open up the launcher, there's an advertisement for, like a battle pass, right? And so all of the different tools in online video games are designed to try to keep you playing the game as long as possible, but the quality of that entertainment, I do think, is lower. But I think it's a mindset shift that I've had where I used to always think that, being good at a video game doesn't matter if you can't beat other people at it, right? And I was thinking to myself,
And this can also apply to not just FPS competitive games. This can also apply to any game, really, because even in single player games, there is a community of people known as speedrunners. Speedrunners take great pride and pleasure in beating a game or doing an activity in a game extremely quickly. So even if you think single player is safe from this, it's not. It's not.
and that's how I always felt. But then I realized to myself, beating people at a video game doesn't really matter either because it's a video game. So kind of shocking, isn't it?
Um, uh, this both does and does not matter because I can make this argument over any sort of entertainment thing, hobby, period. Beating people in football doesn't matter because you're throwing a ball and you're just getting more points. What does that do for the rest of the world besides providing entertainment? Shooting a basketball into a hoop, what is that doing for the rest of the world besides providing entertainment? That's all it's doing. So you would you use that same argument for that? For like sports or any sort of entertainment deriving activity? Could you make the same argument for drawing or painting or creating music? Then I think it would be that you could have a little more nuanced conversation if you start to include these other hobbies that the sole purpose is to just derive entertainment from and dopamine from. Like, does it really matter for you to pursue this hedonistic thing?
And again, guys, comment down below if this is something that this is a revelation that's also occurred to you. And so I see these things where it's like these 90-day reward structure cycles that repeat, and they usually power creep each other. So it's like if you
Yeah.
work really hard in a game, this is something that Classic WoW always did really well. I'm a Classic Andy in a lot of ways. Is that if I took a break in BWL and AQ and Nax came out, well, I could come back and I'd still be in BWL. It's not like I would just be kind of accelerated to Nax and all of my effort that I had put previously would be invalidated. But I feel like a lot of video games have a reset power creep cycle that happens on a cyclical basis that's generally correlated with either a seasonal model or a battle pass model.
Mm-hmm.
And these types of mechanics are tiresome. They're very tiresome to me.
Yeah.
And as I've spent a
Again, this applies to like games that have systems. Not so much FPS live service. There's not really a lot of. There's not a lot, I would say, of power creep in FPS games. There, you could argue there's like a little bit, but the degree, I would argue, is much less in FPS versus something like an MMO game or Warframe. Yes, I will still use Warframe. Yes, there is a considerable, like a significant amount of power creep just in those games.
A lot of time playing these games, I've realized that I'm not really having as much fun completing these tasks because of the inevitable futility of it, where ultimately I'm not really going to be able to achieve anything in this game. Not like it matters, but it feels like it matters.
Yeah,
Again, um,
you want it to feel like it matters because it still feels nice to work towards something, and there has to be like an end game, like where you're climbing up the stairs, you're climbing up the ladder, and there reaches some point in the game where you can stand on top of the pedestal, turn around, and be like, damn, I did all that. I am super proud of myself. You want that as a player, you want there to be an end game. The developer does not want that. The moment the developer feels that you are achieving your end point and is the moment that they feel you are going to stop playing the game. Uh, it's just a fact of the matter. Um, you know, there are like numerous outliers that you could argue go against what I just said. Like people going for like multiple championships or multiple seasons being the best. Um, those people do exist, but those are outliers of the thing. Those people I don't think the exception to the rule should make the rule. Yes, there are people that go for back-to-back championships, back-to-back rank 1 on the ladder type of people, but 99% of the people, they're not like that. A lot of the time, they get to the top of the thing, they say, "Wow, I did that," and then they just want to move on, do something else.
if you like playing these games and you're having fun, then that's all that matters. That's literally all that matters. Like, you don't need to justify it to me, you don't need to justify it to anybody. But I think that what happens is that a lot of times people put the expectation of, like, oh, am I having fun, with how many other people are having fun the same way. And so for me, moving over to playing a lot more single player games, I don't have to keep up with, like, like really fastly evolving metas. I'll log in, like, everybody's playing and grinding.
Hmm.
It's hard to play a competitive game like that unless you're playing it all the time because of just how fast information travels now online. And ultimately, I'm playing these games. I can't really, maintain a degree of, like, like maybe like competitive nature, right? Because and also some people might say skill issue, and I'm sorry, but I'm gonna have to agree with you. I don't even really care. It's not really that big of a deal to me. I just want to play the game and have fun. And if I'm getting fucking destroyed, like, how many of you guys used to play Fortnite and you
Hmm.
stopped playing it because, you build like your little, okay, all right, you son of a bitch, you come over here. And then over there, he's building the Eiffel fucking Tower.
Yeah,
And you
yeah.
feel,
I mean, I never played Fortnite, but I get what he's talking about. This you get this. I got this feeling in Apex, where, of course, I was soloing and trying to communicate with my team of two random people, or sometimes it would be two friends, where they just automatically were not going to listen, um, simply because I am the random, and you don't listen to the random, even though I'm trying to help, not hinder you, whatever. And you could easily tell who is a well coordinated three stack of people that play the game that just murder you one by one and take you down systematically. And it just feels again like Sisyphus going up the hill. And it's not so much of a skill issue. I mean, it kind of is, but like, hey, that guy that built that Eiffel Tower, he probably put in a ton of time and effort into building that fucking Eiffel Tower. So he deserves to whoop your ass. 100%.
feel like a clown and you lose, and so
Yeah.
you just lose interest in playing the game. I think that's what's happened with a lot of online games.
I mean, but that also could, you could also chalk that up to like having a bad matchmaking system if that level of disparity exists. Um, Probably. I mean, that's what I would argue. I mean, I haven't played Apex in for fucking ever, and when I quit, there was like matchmaking issues of like predators, like just in like what do you call it, like the dime or like bronze, silver, gold level lobbies and such. Understandably, anytime there's a season reset, all the predators get bumped back down to like some low level rank, or at least that's what was happening when I was playing. Like all the predators would go back down to bronze, and then for a couple days they would have to quickly get out of bronze to get into their gold or platinum level lobbies on like the second or third day, just so that on season reset you could leave the true bronze people to like fight themselves, and you have like a separate lobby of like gold and platinum people, but they're actually all predators just like versing each other up there. Maybe it's a little bit better, but I don't know. I don't give a shit.
Because everybody's wanting to make a name for themselves. Like for a lot of people out there, it's, I wouldn't say, kind of, it is. It's a job for them, right? They're doing this as a career.
Yeah.
So they want to be as competitive and as good at this game as possible.
Hmm.
And I think the reality of that is that there's so many people out there that it really makes it hard for an average player to have fun playing one of these games when metas and skill caps evolve so fast.
You have to be like a professional at these live service games. You have to be uh just a really good player to play these games, especially in terms of FPS. As simple as a concept is as putting a reticle on someone and pulling like clicking on them well, no, I'm not going to do that argument. That's like a bigger art like a stupid argument that no. As easy as a concept it is to put a reticle on someone's head and pull a trigger, um it's actually harder than it sounds, because if it was easy, more people would be doing it. Much the same way, um, trying to understand a mechanic system so complicated as Path of Exile or D4, kind of, but not really, but kind of. It's an ARPG, kind of the same vein as Warframe. There's a learning curve in there. You can make the argument for MMOs. You just have to be a good. It's not even like the skill is kind of mechanical, but that mechanical skill comes after the fact of you reading and comprehending the intended design of the game's mechanics. Which I am quickly learning is really hard in Path of Exile. um, like you just have to be aware of what is what. It's like you have to be good at reading, you have to be good at comprehending, you have to be good at taking all the variables into account, knowing what's available to you, and like once you understand everything, the mechanics part it is like a breeze, to be honest. It's the understanding what is possible part, I would say, is the really hard part.
That you have to maintain a certain degree of consistency playing it, or you're probably not going to have a good time because you're going to get skill gapped or power crept,
Yeah.
depending on what the game is. And in fact, in some of them, it's actually both. And so what's happened is that I've kind of realized this cycle of futility, and I've realized that, like, why am I trying to keep up with this to, like, maintain the same amount of effort and time
Hmm.
when, again, why wouldn't I want to have my cake and eat it too? Right? Why would I want to invest a huge amount of time into something like this that I'm not really enjoying? And I feel like another thing is daily rewards or weekly rewards.
Here we
A
go.
lot of these online video games, they have like a reward structure that is very front loaded,
Hmm.
which means that you're getting 80% of the rewards in like 5% of the time, and then you spend the other 95% of the time getting the remaining 20% of the rewards.
Yeah.
So they're designed for you not to play a lot, and to basically stay on this treadmill and move at the pace that they've set for you.
Yeah.
And I also find this to be very fatiguing as well, because there's some days I don't really want to play at all, and other days where days where I want to play maybe 6 hours, 8 hours, and I feel like that time and effort isn't rewarded in a proportional level, and it feels like my time is being disrespected.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's really a fundamental concern that I have too, is that I think a lot of these online games are built with systems that are cynically designed to waste your time
Yeah.
in the most like subversive way possible. And
Absolutely.
I see this happen a lot, and this is also this is the worst thing, is that, oh wow, you don't like grinding, oh, you're not a fan of that, you don't have time, well, guess what, we have the solution for that, we've
Mm-hmm.
created the problem, and now you're going to pay us to solve it.
Yep.
So there's like these pay for convenience, pay for power systems. So it's like, oh well, I can't keep up all the time and I can't play all the time, so I'm going to spend money on the game. And I think that some people have rationalized this into becoming normal.
You would be surprised at how little the overall player base needs to contribute towards a game developer for them to just maintain like a game. Like most of the money that these like pay to win live service games like get comes from like the top 5% of whales a game. Maybe it's even less. Like the top 5% or even less that contribute so much money and pay into the game that they make it possible for the bottom 95% of the players able to enjoy your favorite live service game for completely free. The 5% need to whale out so that the 95% of players can enjoy the game for free. It just happens.
I don't think that it's normal at all. Who decided that you have to pay money to advance in a video game? Like, who decided, oh, because you don't have time, now you have to pay money? Well, I'll tell you who decided that. The people you're paying money to.
Yeah.
This is a completely invented problem
Mhm.
that you could solve with 50 different solutions.
Yep.
But
But the moment the developers solve that solution, they get less money, and there's no shot that they're going to do that.
big surprise, the one solution that keeps being used is the one that's the most beneficial to the people that are making the games. And again, that's fine if you like this kind of stuff. I don't. I feel stupid. I feel stupid paying to win, and I feel stupid playing free to play.
Yep. Yep. You feel stupid for even engaging in the game at all because the moment you start paying or playing the game, you're already in the hamster wheel. And so there was like a moment a couple months ago, maybe it was a year ago, where Sony was trying to like they had a plan to release like somewhere between like 10 and 20 like new live service games or something like that. And I think something happened where they had to put a pause on that instance of trying to release all these live service games. But what I think is going to happen is people are going to see how the systems of Path of Exile, Diablo 4, and Warframe, and potentially Fortnite, they are going to see those systems and simply do a copy paste on any like that system onto their new live service game and come out. And you are going to see similar systems in new live service games that are going to come out in the future, and you will call them good, completely unknowing that they have just like copy pasted from games that have like done good in the past, like PoE, like Warframe, like Fortnite, and yeah, that's just what's going to happen. Or what I will predict.
I feel stupid for playing it.
Any game that does not copy those systems will probably fail. And they will be laughed at because nobody plays the game.
at all. And so I thought to myself, am I going to spend my whole day being stupid? Yeah. But not that stupid. That's terrible. And so I quit playing. And so I felt these different systems, and it's like every game has these.
Mm-hmm.
It's not like
Yeah,
one.
look at Last Descendant. They pretty much copied Warframe, and Last Descendant is killing it. They're doing great.
Game has this. Every online video game follows the
Yep.
same content delivery
Yep. Look
structure.
at Destiny 2. Destiny 2 has like survived forever. I don't think a lot of people are playing Destiny 2. Let me see. Where's all the player base for Destiny 2? Steam DB, Steam charts. Uh, Destiny 2. How many people are playing Destiny 2 right now? It's not bad. I mean, it could be like 50 or 60K, but like whatever. It's it's Destiny 2 is kind of like shit. What the fuck? What happened here? June, the big old bump. Was that like a big old thing of people? Whatever. But this was the line I was talking about of like, there's a like a spike, decline, spike, decline, spike, decline. Maybe this one wasn't as good, but still decline, spike, decline, big spike, decline, spike, decline, spike, big massive spike, decline. That's what I was looking for, but whatever.
Structures. They follow the same reward structures. They follow the same progression structures. They follow the same store models. And it doesn't even matter what the genre is. How is it that you can have a game that is about shooting people with guns that is fundamentally the same as a game that's killing dragons, or a game that's like an anime waifu collector? Really,
You didn't think it was possible, but it is.
Call of Duty's got the same progression standard, kind of. I mean, in an
Yep.
abstract sense. So Honkai
Yep.
Star Rail, what the hell
Yes.
is going on? And as soon as I've realized this, I've taken a step back. I've taken a step back, and I've tried to have fun playing video games.
Oh
And
shit.
that's where I'm at now. I've been playing a lot of video games that are single player, that I feel respect my time a lot more, that I feel are paced in a way that's not disrespectful. And I think they're really fun. And I'm not thinking about who is, like, who am I beating at the game, or,
Mm-hmm.
where am I on a leaderboard. It doesn't matter where I am on a leaderboard. It's a fucking video game. Who gives a shit? I'm having fun.
Mm-hmm.
I'm enjoying myself. And it's been great. And so I wanted to make this video and talk to you guys about where I'm at personally, why I haven't been playing a lot of these online video games, and why I've fallen out of favor with it. I yearn for the day that there is an online video game that makes me want to waste my time. But right now, there's not.
Yeah, but what do you mean by makes you want to waste your time? If you're talking about going back to the time where you have this online game, and the core game loop falls in the middle of that little like line I was talking about, well, that will never exist. All live service games will have this what do you call it? This gradient of gameplay loop where it starts off slow. The more knowledge, understanding of the game systems you put and invest into it, and the more time you play, your character will just get better. It'll do more damage. It'll do more multiplicative damage. Your character will move quicker. Your character will be more invincible. They can move around quicker. Um, whatever. And that is live service. People like there's a chunk of people that like that. That is a progressive, character development cycle thing. There's like the visual progression of your character, and then there's also the gameplay progression of your character. In the beginning, you're only doing one attack a second. At the end game, you're doing like 16 attacks a second. Uh, yeah, that is what what these live service games will do, or I'll say what live service games are going to do, in the future.
And
Well,
so,
I mean, like not in the future, but like they're doing it now, and it's showing success, and people are realizing that, and then they're just gonna simply copy paste it.
so I'm stuck here being a boomer playing single player games, and that's just about it. And I hate to say it, guys, but I'm happy. So anyway, I wanted to talk about this a little bit, give some of the different little patterns that I've been seeing a lot of these online games having,
Mm-hmm.
and also share where I'm at. And I think the reason why I want to make this video is because I feel like a lot of you guys out there might be a little bit like me. And let me know in the comments if you are. I'm quite curious. I think this is a
It goes in waves. Sometimes I feel like wasting my time. Sometimes I feel like just playing a single player story game, just enjoying the story. I mean, sometimes I feel like playing a shooting game. Sometimes I feel like not playing a shooting game. It just depends. It goes in waves, I think. Um, there's no rhyme or reason to it. It's just subjective dopamine fun. And the other variable is people tend to play shit that their friends are playing if they have friends. That's another big factor. So if a lot of people say this live service game is good, people are going to go flock to it regardless of whether or not it's good, and they just simply play it because their friends are playing it.
long overdue discussion because I feel like this permeates not only the enjoyment of the game, but what are games fundamentally. For a lot of people, they're a form of escapism.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't feel like I'm escaping into a treadmill. You know, it's like I'm in my real life that is in some ways a treadmill. I'm lucky, you know, in the job that I have. Some people aren't as lucky. Their real life is much more like a treadmill than mine is. And then it's like, finally, you know, I've been working all day. Time to go home and work in this video game. Miss me with that bullshit, man. And so that's the way that I feel. Let me know in the comments how you feel, and I hope there's more discussion about this. I really do, because I hope that it'll lead to better online games that are more respectful of your time and fundamentally more fun. So that's about it, guys. I'll see you later. Peace.
All right. Well, that was a video. Live service, it's here to stay. A lot of genres are adopting a version of live service. You know, like for every genre of video game, you could easily name a live service version of that game. Whether or not you engage in it is up to you. It's all like, what do you want to do? What do you want to play? What do you want to enjoy? If you're a hardcore gamer, I would say go play a live service game because you have nothing but gains to derive from that type of game. If you're a casual person, I would say go play a single person. You could play the game and enjoy it and play it without any FOMO at your own pace. That would be my advice. But whatever. Overall, cool video. But yeah, I like these little you know, one videos that Asmund does. Yeah, do more of them. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I'll catch you guys on the next one. All right, later.